How can I find inspiration when I feel stuck? Well, if you're like me, I'm sure you have asked this question from yourself many times. It doesn't matter how old are you and what do you do for life or where you are at in your life. In some points, we all feel stuck, but the main thing is how we overcome it. Hi, my name is Helia Singh. I'm a wealth coach and I help people to fast track to financial freedom. But today I want to talk to you about the inspiration because we all need it. We need inspiration and motivation to keep going towards our goals. And that's why, as part of our new series of interviewing with female coaches, I'm bringing you a beautiful transformational coach who will just put some lights on this topic and help us to find the inspiration to do better in our life. Hi, Raita. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, everyone. This is our beautiful transformational coach, Raita Taia. Hi.
Hi, Helia. Thank you for the beautiful introduction.
No worries. I really appreciate your time. It's a very interesting topic, the inspiration. So how do you think that people can find inspiration, or what is inspiration?
I think inspiration is a feeling of enthusiasm, motivation, creative energy. It arises in response to something that's usually seen, heard, felt, read, experienced, or imagined. Um, it's what I would explain as like the spark, and it can lead to new ideas, new insights, perspectives, and can also propel you to going towards your goals and your aspirations.
Hmm, interesting. But is it something? It's like an energy. So sometimes it will be a bit low in a battery, or you can just actually increase it, or there are other ways to get the inspiration higher, or is it always there? We need to tap into it. What's your view?
Definitely. It's that second one. So it's always within. And everything that exists in our lives comes from within us. And it's really life is quite simple, and it's about stripping back those layers and getting to your core and finding what it is that sparks you, what motivates you, what excites you, where do you have your joys and where are your passions in life. And when you're able to get really clear on that, that's where inspiration comes from. I think a lot of people nowadays are always searching externally for inspiration, and they're looking for the answers outside of themselves when really the answers are always within you.
Wow. Well, it's definitely there is a sign there because so many coaches told me this, and I said, "Yep, I need to get the message that it is all inside me, not to look outside." But I'm sure there are some people now listening and say that, okay, but people who are successful, so they must have something else, that they are always inspired. It seems that inspiration, that battery will never get discharged. So how to become inspired all the time, or have it, or tap into it all the time?
I think there are three key elements when it comes to inspiration. And they're what I like to call the three P's. So that's presence, purpose, and potential. When you're able to get really clear on those three things, then you're able to actually always feel inspired. And I think there's a big difference between inspiration and motivation. The motivation isn't always there, and that's something that we have to accept. It's based off of a feeling, whereas inspiration is more intrinsic, and it's at a soul level, I guess you could say. And I think that when we truly understand our meaning and we embrace what that is in our lives, then we're able to harness that that inspiration to then transform us and help us get to those new heights. I think we look at a lot of inspirational people, a lot of successful people, and we put them on a particular pedestal that they always know what they're doing or they always have everything figured out. But we really are just all on this same level as human beings, still just trying to find our way in life.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so then please elaborate more on those three P's.
Oh, so The first P is presence. So if we think about presence, I like to refer to a spiritual teacher. His name's Eckhart Tolle. He wrote the book The Power of Now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Beautiful book, and I would say that is the best book that would capture what presence is. And he says in the book, realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. Make now the primary focus of your life. And presence is just all about being here in the now. I think a lot of people live in the past or they project too far in the future. So when we're stuck in the past, that's usually when we feel the feelings of depression, of regret, of, just replaying scenes over and over. And when we project ourselves too far forward into the future, that's where we create a lot of worry and a lot of anxiety. And I think the world that we live in now is created to really distract us. It's about knowing how to focus our attention purely on what is just happening right now. So even as we are having this discussion, I'm here, you're here, we're just present right now in this moment. As we engage and we
Yeah.
ask each other questions, we're just here. Nothing else really matters. And that's a great example of being present, having a conversation with a friend, focusing on a task. That if you're at work, just purely giving yourself that attention to that task, or even just enjoying like a beautiful sunset and being there in that moment. So I think presence is about letting go also of any self-imposed limitations and fears and doubts that might be holding you back as well from fully expressing yourself, and just being present in the moment.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So now that was present. So what else?
So I think another important part about presence is when we practice presence, we become more aware of our thoughts as well. And we harness self awareness, our thoughts, our emotions, our surroundings. We become really mindful and empathetic as well. When we tap into that real human part of us, we start to become more grateful for little things in our lives. It's really easy to get caught up in all the things we don't have instead of appreciating all the things that we have. So we just become more effective in everything that we do because we're able to give that moment our full attention and our energy. And I guess if you want to know how to cultivate presence in your life,
Please.
one way, which I absolutely love, is through mindfulness meditation. So I'm actually a meditation teacher as well. And meditation is so powerful. You're able to really bring coherence between the heart and the mind and just be one, which is presence. So if you want to practice mindfulness meditation, it just involves sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, or if you want to listen to a track, or even feel a particular sensation in your body. If you haven't really experienced meditation, another good way is just to set some time aside every day, whether it's in the morning or at night time, and just totally disconnect from technology and any other distractions that you have, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, and just be present with yourself, check in with yourself, ask yourself how you're doing, or even check in with your loved ones as well.
Wow. It's very easy, but I'm sure at the same time, I can feel that there are already some resistance there. Like, for example, while we were talking, my mind was there that, oh, I have to do this. The battery was running out in my laptop to say, I need to make sure I'll do this. So how to quiet those noises while, okay, I understand, okay, how to cultivate it, go through the meditation, which is an amazing, amazing tool to, feel or experience mindfulness. But during the day when we're facing many things in life, so how to keep reminding ourselves just to be present?
Great way is to come back to your breath. So I don't know if you notice, if you're not present, you usually hold your breath and you're usually tense and you feel an actual reaction within your body. So a good way to just bring yourself back very quickly is just to take a big breath out. Okay. And then if you need to take an action right then and there, take the action. So for example, you realize, oh no, I need to, plug the laptop in and charge it. Okay, breath, I'm going to plug it in straight away. Don't need to think about it anymore.
Mm.
When we fester on things too much, or it's getting caught in like almost that psychological loop in your
Yeah,
mind of I
yeah,
have to do this, I need to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah, the
Be here now.
overthinking. It's just
Yeah,
the
exactly.
overthinking kills it, you know. It's just,
It
yeah.
does.
Should I do
So
it?
you
Not to do it. Wait.
Yeah, so you can, it's I think being able to make quick decisions as well pays off really well.
Mm.
So if you can be present in this moment and say, okay, right now I'll be present, and in 10 minutes time this is what I'm going to go do after that, and then boom, you go do that after. So it's not dwelling on things too much. And then it's like what I said before, you can't spend time in the past, you can't spend too much time in the future. I do believe that, I'm a big advocate of planning. I think taking action is really important. But if you're in a particular plan, and that plan is, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be present and I'm going to give whatever I'm doing 100% of that focus.
Mhm.
So even if it's just, you're drinking your coffee or your tea in the morning and you're just there with your coffee and your tea, you're not somewhere else in your mind.
Ah, amazing. Okay. So now I know next tomorrow morning while having my coffee, I'm not just gonna sit there and say things to do that I have to do for the day.
Yeah.
Just sit there and enjoy the actual coffee for once.
100%. Yeah. And then pick up a notebook and write down the things you need to do and get that out of your head.
Yeah.
Journaling is a fantastic way to actually stop overthinking and to get out
Mm.
a lot of your thoughts. And I think we live in a prison here, but when you learn how to control that and you learn how to dictate things in your life, you're creating your reality always
Mm.
anyway. So you just need to decide, am I going to be here or am I going to be somewhere else?
Absolutely. Now you just reminded me sometimes my Apple watches something, the notification comes and I look at it and say, breathe. I say, I was breathing. So why are you giving me that? But then say, okay, fine. It means that I have to do a deep breathing. So, and I do it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Okay, definitely is a smart watch. So it knows when I'm not breathing. Okay, now something you mentioned has just really got my attention when you talked about that we are living in that prison in our mind. Uh, of course, we live in the era of technology. Since we wake up, I mean, at least as soon as we wake up or open our eyes, is just the social media, our phone, life is just throwing things at us. It's just they want our attention everywhere. So, and of course, we hear things and we just think that, oh, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that. So that's why sometimes it feels like, is that inspiration? Is it my own inspiration or is it really genuine? Or was it born because I was affected by others? So, how do I know my inspiration is genuine?
That's a good question. I think that, if you want to go into like even that example of the morning and you wake up and you've got all the notifications, you have the control and you decide, am I going to pick up my phone and check these notifications, or am I going to put that to the side, be present for 10 or 20 minutes and spend it doing something else? That's a huge habit, that a lot of people have, which when I wake up in the morning, I try not to check my phone straight away. You're already producing, your body's producing cortisol, which is a
Mm.
stress hormone. It's the worst thing to do first thing when you wake up. But going back to your question, I think that knowing if it's yours or if it's not yours is when you tap into your purpose. So your
Mm.
purpose is about discovering your unique calling or your mission in life, and just allowing that to unfold naturally. I don't believe that we are not put here for a reason. I truly believe every single human soul on this planet is here for something, whether that's something small, something big, however you decide it is how it is. So purpose encourages you to reflect on your values, and your values are the indicators of where you should spend the most time, what you should be doing with your life, basically your values, your passions, and those are usually where your strengths lie as well. And they help you gain a deeper understanding of what the drivers are in your life and what actually gives you meaning in your life. So I guess purpose is just knowing about why you're here, and what you want to achieve in this lifetime, and having a clear sense of direction and meaning, and aligning your goals and your actions with your purpose.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that. When I moved to Perth 8 years ago, I actually was searching to find what is my purpose, or what's my passion. Let me correct it. That's what is my passion, because by then I didn't have that passion that I used to think I have. And for that, actually, I started beating myself up for it, that, oh, and then that means I'm a fake. How for many years I did this, but now suddenly I don't have any feelings for it, or at least it just doesn't motivate me. That I was just doing it because I had to do it, or that was a commitment. But I went through a very hard time to find my passion again. But the interesting, the purpose stays the same, but the passion changes. So, in terms of how to bring this together as a transformational coach, uh, how do you help people to find their passion and align it with their purpose, even though it seems it changes sometimes the passion, like during life?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you're right in that sense, where our purpose is something that's very intrinsic and it comes from within, whereas passions sometimes can lie outside of ourselves. They can be the things we choose to do, and where we spend a lot of our time. But I think that as human beings, our one purpose as a collective is to evolve and grow. So to accept that we will always be changing and we will forever be evolving. If we're not, then we're just slowly dying anyway. So whatever we choose to do within that purpose is up to us. And I think that it always ties back to your values. Your values are the things that are the most important to you. So you will be intrinsically inspired to go and act out on your values. So you might be telling yourself, oh, my health is really important to me. That's my value. But if you're not exercising, if you're not eating right, if you're not doing those things, that's not actually your value. Something else is your value there. So it's about being able to put all of those sort of in a list and look at maybe your top five, or order them to what's the most important. And then that will give you a good indication of what your passions actually are. And your values can always be changing as well. Like I said, with your purpose, we're always evolving and we're changing. So our passions and the things that we do can always change. Who I am today and the things that I do and the things I value now wasn't what I was 5 years ago, and what I valued and what I did then. And being okay with that change and accepting yourself and loving yourself through that transformation is really important, because that goes back to what you were saying before, how you were beating yourself up and you have these commitments, but you need to give yourself permission to actually evolve and to grow, and be okay that if something was a value before, it may not be that anymore, and that's okay.
I wish I knew you 8 years ago, so I don't have to beat myself up.
But that
Yeah,
was a part of your journey. You needed to go through it that way. So you can be
true.
here today, and so grateful for it, because you've
Yeah,
learned a lot.
oh, for sure, I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it just makes it much easier. So to know that it is okay to feel stuck. It is okay to feel that, yes, you've changed, but to embrace it, accept it. But at the same time, to have the guidance of someone like you to help going through that change, I think that's important, because as you mentioned, as we are evolving, we want to become our better selves. Because some people, while evolving, they get too scared, or they may get stuck, or actually move few steps back, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
which definitely is not going to help anyone, not themselves or the people around them or their purpose, after all.
Mm.
So that is great. So how our audience can reach out to you and get the help to, get your amazing coaching of transformation?
Yeah, sure. So I like to hang out on LinkedIn. So you can
Mm.
search me up on there. It's just my first and my last name. And then also on Instagram. I do have a website as well. It's under construction at the moment, which is raitataia.com. And I will be launching some programs in the beginning of May as well, which are quite exciting. And I take most of my clients I do on a one-to-one basis because I really like working with someone for a period of time and going through a lot of the things that they need. I've been a coach for going on 4 years now. I've also studied NLP as well. So it is a lot about creating a powerful vision and a framework, going through mindset, getting very clear on your direction in life, setting the goals and taking the actions. And then there's a whole metaphysics topic as well that I take my clients through, which is all about energy and how to get into state of flow. So you can find me
Yeah,
anywhere.
amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anyway, we're going to put all your details with the link to website, your program, as well as, your LinkedIn in the caption section. So our, listeners can find you and reach out to you. It's amazing. So do you have any special, program or something for our listeners? Let's say any, what they call it, just the freebies or something just for specifically for our audience. So then
Oh,
they can.
definitely. I'd be happy to actually take people through with those two first things we spoke about, being able to go into the third thing that I teach, which is potential. And that's being able to, I guess, break past yourself and go into those limitless possibilities. So to do an hour session with me, we could do some techniques. I like to do what's called a values elicitation. And when you walk away from that hour, you'll be so clear on who you are and what you need to do after that.
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
so
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'd be happy to offer that. And then possibly once I launch my program again, I've done a few rounds of it, and it's called Breathe Your Purpose. So that's a group program that I do all over Australia and I guess internationally now if we have international clients. And I'd be happy to give them a discount on that as well if they refer
Wonderful.
themselves through you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your generosity. I know we all are just trying to throw incentives just to help people to get them inspired to look
Yeah,
after
exactly.
to look after themselves and give themselves permission to transform and become a better person. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for what you're doing and helping people to find their true purpose and be aligned with that. Really appreciate it. So, folks, please, I'm sure you love this video as much as I do. So please make sure you like it, love it, and share it and tag it with people who you think they'll need that transformation. They need the guidance for to know what is next for them. So this is the best things you can do for them. And especially if, let's say, someone says they are not okay, they're feeling lost, or they're not sure about their life, their path in life, just tag them in this video so they'll get in touch with our beautiful Raita, and hopefully you will transform their life. Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Raita,
Thank you
for
so
being
much for
here.
having me. Thank you.
All
I
the best.
appreciate it.
Really, same here. Really appreciate your time. Until next episode, everyone, have a happy, healthy, wealthy life. Bye for now.